All right, everyone, I'm a boss, and today with me I have here Team 11970 Titanium Talons from Washington. They've had the world record with team technical difficulties earlier this year. They performed very well at the Washington Championship, at the Houston World Championship, and today at MTI. They've been absolutely killing it on the shared hub.
This video on First Updates Now is made possible by viewers like you and also the following sponsors. If you are a college student or recent graduate looking for an incredible internship, take a look at Stryker. Stryker provides a housing stipend, great pay, and an opportunity to work with state-of-the-art medical technology equipment. Discover why so many First alumni are coming to Stryker for their internship or career at careers.stryker.com. Discover MSOE, where hands-on learning today can lead to real-world applications tomorrow, including their We Energy STEM Center built to support FIRST teams. Head on over to msoe.edu/visit to see a virtual tour and schedule your campus visit today.
Nick and Mason, let's get into your robot. Let's start with the drivetrain. I noticed something that your drive pods are extremely slim. It seems like your motors are actually parallel to your wheels. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, why you guys decided to do that, any benefits and cons?
Yeah, so our goal with our drive pods was to keep it as compact as possible. So we drove through the set of build the miter gears as well as belt drives as well to make it just super compact. The whole drive base I think is about 2.5 inches wide, and this allows us to kind of have a symmetrical design with one side and the other side being the same. So if we just remove the cross braces across the middle of our robot, we can access everything within our robot within a couple of minutes, and it can lay flat in a suitcase for storage purposes, so we can transport it easily.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, you know, you guys haven't had any driving issues, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? You guys have been extremely consistent there. Let's go on to your intake. In the last Behind the Bot, you guys talked extensively about your intake, so we won't focus too much on that, but what I'm really interested by is your transfer. It seems like you guys have two mechanisms, one to score on the shared hub in the low level of the Alliance hub, and then another mechanism to score on the middle level of the Alliance hub and the high level. So do you guys want to show that off a little bit, how that works, the different progress that went into that as well?
Yeah, so starting with our intake, when we press right trigger, the linkage inside of our robot comes down, and then when you hold it, it'll intake freight. Now, to process it, you press the stick down on the thumbstick, and for the Alliance teleop, it'll both raise the linkage and lift the slides to our high goal position, and then with the click of the other stick, it'll score it, and then another click will bring it down. So it's a little bit different on our shared teleop. Let me just init that real quick. Now, if we process the freight again, this is just a little bit different, as when we press the processing button, it'll instead raise the slides to about there, and then pressing the left bumper, that was the wrong button, Mason. Pressing the right stick down, it'll go to our process position here, and then pressing that, it'll put it onto our ramp, and holding it will bring it all the way across.
Yeah, and you know, this like conveyor mechanism has been extremely consistent for you guys today. I mean, I've seen you guys beat pretty much every top team on shared here, and you guys obviously are considered one of the top teams on shared at MTI. And so, how did you guys realize like how effective this mechanism is for the shared hub in the season?
Yeah, so earlier in the season, we started off with a wide tank drive robot, so shared wasn't really a thought of ours. So we just put a piece of Teflon inside of our robot to drop it off. We talked about that a little bit in our last Behind the Bot, but then we realized that wasn't really consistent because we also had no really easy way to score in the low preload. So early in the season, we were missing a lot of those. So then we were like, okay, and we put this mechanism onto our to score in the low with our wide tank. Then when we went to this design, we went back to the Teflon, you know, not really realizing our mistake, and we were like, hey, maybe this will fit. So we kind of stuck it on. We tried out shared, and we were like, hey, we're not bad at this. Still focused on Alliance at the time because that was kind of our bread and butter we've been practicing. And then we came to realize later in the season around World Championships that, hey, we could actually be a top team because there's so many teams who are good at Alliance, but there's only a few who are really top tier at shared. So at Worlds, we decided to start running shared a little bit more, and then since then we've been almost exclusively practicing shared, and that's upped our cycles a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure having the world record with technical difficulties definitely, you know, emphasize that you guys need to do the shared hub in matches. All right, your end game, another absolutely fantastic aspect of your robot. You guys are super consistent with it, and you know, it's not just like a simple arm or anything like that. You guys have a whole tape measure turret system. You want to walk us through some of the controls for that, show us how it works? I noticed you guys don't just have like a traditional gear here, but really sort of like a rack and pinion design. It's not a full gear. Why don't we see how that works? You know, maybe move the tape measure around a little bit, extend it, things like that.
Yeah, so first we can start with the capstone itself. We have two of these cone caps right here. They've just got a magnet right on top, and there's just got a 3D printed base to make sure they don't slide around too much. So they magnetize just like that. And we can move our mechanism in the X direction and in the Y direction, as well as extend out with the tape. And this will just simply, you know, stick on there. And then when we're on the post, we put it in here and we just pull back. that didn't really work because this isn't a post, but
Yeah.
it'll just come right back and come right off of the post.
No, that's super awesome. And at what point in the season did you guys think about adding this?
Yeah, so there was a team, I think it was Robotics, that first made a mechanism like this, and they posted the CAD, so we're like, this is a really interesting design. So we kind of played around with their part. We initially built that, and then we saw there's a few improvements we can make here. So we slimmed up their design to fit a little bit better, swapped it over from a servo to a motor, and then just kind of redid the whole geometry of it, and then that really increased our capping time, or decreased our capping times.
Yeah, I think Enigma really
Yes.
set the standard this year for the tape measure cap.
Yeah.
And you guys also have fantastic software. I mean, something as complicated as this isn't easy to control if you just, servo on, servo off. So why don't we talk a little bit about the software, maybe hand it over to Mason and see what he has to say. Let's talk about your guys' corrective systems in Autonomous.
Yeah, so we use these color sensors located on all sides of the robot, along with, Nick, you want to show that? Along with one located on the bottom right here. And basically, this allows us to always normalize our position in the field along a certain axis. As seen in match 41 of MTI, we were pushed way off course, and by utilizing these color sensors, we were able to come right back into our warehouse auto and perfectly cycle and keep going.
Yeah, no, that's super awesome. And then what about teleop automations? Something that just seems simple to really top teams may not seem that simple to teams that are just getting started. It can be really useful for them to know.
Yeah, Nick, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the most useful thing for me in teleop has been presets. So we have a preset that we just press a button for our top goal and for our mid goal position, and we simply toggle between them by I hold the left trigger while I'm raising the linkage, then it will go to the mid goal position, but otherwise it'll just go to the high goal. And without having to manually raise that lift, because that breaks up your flow and your brain power as you have to be doing driving and raising it, just a click of a button, and that really increases cycling for new teams. That's something we learned back in Rover Ruckus, and it just upped our game to the next level.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, I'm sure teams have a lot to learn from you, specifically about optimizing your robot for one aspect of the game and just being really, really good at it. Thank you guys. I think everybody's learned a lot, and reporting for First Updates Now, I'm a boss.
This video on First Updates Now is made possible by viewers like you and also the following sponsors. Discover MSOE, where hands-on learning today can lead to real-world applications tomorrow, including their We Energy STEM Center built to support first teams. Head on over to msoe.edu/visit to see a virtual tour and schedule your campus visit today. If you are a college student or recent graduate looking for an incredible internship, take a look at Stryker. Stryker provides a housing stipend, great pay, and an opportunity to work with state-of-the-art medical technology equipment. Discover why so many First alumni are coming to Stryker for their internship or career at careers.stryker.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow. And check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.